stand, WB2LQF. I've been a ham for over half a century, and in fact this year 2016 marks my 54th anniversary as an amateur radio operator. And for all that time I've had a lot of fun. I've owned my share of beams and towers and heavy equipment and substantial power. But about 10 years or so ago, I got very interested in QRP operating. I'm not sure exactly what it was that drew me to it, but you could say I'm entirely hooked on it. I now operate 100% QRP HF CW, and the second rule of thumb for me is ultimate simplicity. I like to operate at home, my fixed station. I also like to come out here and operate portable. I'm on the eastern shore of the Hudson River, just a little bit south of the city of Beacon, New York. And the saltwater line comes up here. In fact, it goes a little bit even further north than where I am. I like to think that that helps out the portable antenna situation. But it's a great opportunity to get out in nature, enjoy the world's greatest hobby, and get out of the shack once in a while, you know? It's a little boring sometimes being inside the shack, especially in this beautiful weather. Unfortunately today, we're not going to be doing any operating. The space weather is really crappy, and the earth weather doesn't look that hot either. We're expecting thunderstorms, and it's about 100 degrees out here in the sun. So instead of doing some operating today, how about I show you my portable rig, okay? Okay, here we are back home. Still 100 degrees. We're not going to do any operating, but let me show you here on my back deck. Let me show you my portable rig. You might find it interesting if you generate some ideas. Well, there it is, folks. What do you think? All handmade with hand tools. Got a little cubby over here on the right side to hold my logbook, some scratch paper, a couple of pens. This carrying strap up on the top, that's a real strong tarp strap, extra strong tarp strap, secured by a couple of good bolts. Down here we have the Aircraft KX2. And next to it is my specially made Tony Boleno N3NZ QRP ZN paddle. Special because it's got a 1-inch OTO, which I absolutely love. I just adore it. There's my local and UTC time. Over here is the Aircraft W1 SWR and watt meter. It has a couple of bar graphs up at the top here. Here, I'll turn it on and show you. There they go, okay? Turn it back off. Over there is the Aircraft T1 miniature auto tuner. I kind of like having an independent auto tuner because if I want to use another rig, as if I had one at this time, which I don't have to worry about only having an internal auto tuner. Alright, we'll go around to the back here, or look at the side. Here's my favorite pair of headsets, okay? Earphones. I just can't figure out why I'd want to use those painful things you stick in your ear. I forget what they call them, earbuds, or some cheap, you know, lightweight plastic job you buy at Radio Shack when I can use my favorite ones here. So I hung them on the side. And there's a 12-volt, 70-amp-hour battery. The whole thing is built out of 1/4-inch birch plywood. It's screwed and glued. And the way I mounted the equipment is I used thin bungee cords, 2 per each piece of equipment here. Alright, and then down here, over here, and over here the key was a little more complex of a situation. And then just drill a hole in the appropriate places, bring the bungee cord through and knot it. That's it. I don't know how much it weighs. You see, weight doesn't matter to me because unlike when I was younger, I'm just a little south of 70 right now. So climbing Soda mountain peaks and hiking in rough terrain, that's not my bag anymore. I prefer to go out to the place I showed you at the introduction to this movie, or even here in my backyard. I've got plenty of tall trees. I just kind of like to operate sometimes from a parking lot near a scenic overlook, or go to some park or historic site and set up there. Just pleases me more. As a result, weight and how much stuff I have to carry isn't that important. All you gotta do is pick it up by this strap. That's it. Okay? Oh, did I show you where the antenna goes? Right here. Okay? So I got my antenna in one hand, and I got my rig in the other hand, and all I'm looking for now is a picnic table. How's that look to you? While we're on the subject of antennas, let me show you one of my portable antennas. It's close to a half wavelength. It's about 0.47 wavelength on 20 meters, but it works on 40 through 10 meters with this transformer here, 9-1 transformer. I got this outfit from W1SFR Steve. Look him up on QRZ, and I think from there you can go to his website. You got a transformer. You got this thing you pound in the ground with the hammer to hold it. Here's the antenna wire, 31 feet. Here's real thin 50 ohm cable. Here's some throwing line. And here's a really heavy lead weight. In fact, I added to the kit a pair of gloves so I don't rip the skin off my hand when I toss this sucker up into a tree. I can get this thing up pretty high if I want. I can use it as a vertical. I can use it as a sloper. I could even run it horizontally if I was in that situation. But it works just fine with the Elecraft T1 auto tuner. And best part is I can QSY immediately anywhere from 40 meters down through 10 meters. And it all fits in that bag over there. So it's pretty neat. That's one antenna. I got a little surprise for you. Hang on. And there's a surprise. A magnetic loop antenna. Magnetic loop antennas are perhaps the most underestimated antennas known to ham operators. They've been around since, well, before World War II. They're favorites of the military, and they absolutely do work. They're a little finicky to adjust, but once you get the hang of it, not a problem. This one is commercially made by Alex Loop, by PY1AHD, and it operates from 40 meters through 10 meters. It's not terribly efficient at 40 meters, but it beats a ham stick, and we've probably all made contacts on ham sticks. On 20 and 15 meters, it's absolutely incredible. And it only takes about 5 minutes to put together. And it all fits in a tiny little case. There's a lot of videos on YouTube showing the operation of this magnetic loop antenna and how people put them together and take them apart, so you can find that elsewhere. I'm not going to clog up my video with action footage on disassembling it. But when I'm someplace where there's not a tree, or I don't feel like throwing that lead weight all the way up into a tree, then I'll use the magnetic loop. It's phenomenal. Okay, well, Sky's not looking too good up there right now, and I feel some raindrops, so I better close up this operation. But I got one more surprise for you, so hang on, folks. Okay, predictably the heavens opened up and the rain came down, and I had to run inside. Here's the disassembled Alex loop in its travel case. Antenna element is over there, and here's the tuning capacitor, the coax, and over here in this case is a tripod, a 6-foot tripod. Nice thing about loop antennas is they've only got to be about 1 loop diameter above the ground to work perfectly. There is absolutely no benefit to mounting them any higher. So for this particular loop, that means about 40 inches off the ground. This is a 6-foot tripod. So we got no problem at all. Here I am. Got my whole radio station in one hand. Over my left shoulder I've got my Alex loop and its tripod. And I still got one hand available to carry my lunch and or maybe both, my chair and my lunch. Now, about that secret that I got to show you. Follow me. Okay, so here we are up in my shack. And here's a surprise, I promise you. I'm not an old ball guy. No, seriously. You notice this is my shack, my operating table, but there's no equipment on it. And the reason for that is, this is my shack, right here. Neat, huh? All I got to do is plug in my shack antenna, and I can unplug the battery, and I can plug in my SEC 1235 amp power supply if I so desire, or I can operate off the battery. My antenna is a 67-foot doublet fed by about 14 feet of ladder line, and it's matched by an SGC 231 autocoupler, which provides me with 4 million solutions, matching solutions. It's the greatest autocoupler or antenna coupler I've ever had, ever in my life, and I love it. My SWRs are around 1.1 to 1, maybe once in a while a 1.2. But what I've done makes sense to me. It might not be for everybody, but it makes sense to me. Why? Well, back 54 years ago, I had a Drake 2B and I had a DX35. And the DX35 was crystal controlled. And I could do more with this little Elecraft KX2 over here than I ever was able to do with the DX35. And I'm talking CW, okay? Although this is also an SSB and a data rig. But we've come so far in terms of, being able to create software-driven radios that just have fabulous performance when compared to something from the 50s and the 60s. Not that I don't love to look at and occasionally play with boat anchor equipment. It's got its place in our history also. But for me, at my age, at this point in my life, I like simplicity, as I mentioned in my introduction, and I'm 100% HF QRP CW, and this job does it for me right here. Okay? Hey, 73, good DX. Nice chatting with you folks.